Citizens forum and public participation is a legal requirement. So you do not just wake up and do things. So this have no devolution and you see the framers of the constitution saw this and it's obtaining.
You have not muted the nini? Umemute? Sahi ama umemute saa zile ulianza?
Mute hata nishatoa.
Umemute saa ngapi? Umemute saa ngapi? Si fault ukianza una mute kwanza.
I'm already talking to everybody.
Yeah, that is what I'm thinking. Ulikuwa umemute ukianza?
Okay.
Okay.
Please.
Nimetoa juu staki aanze kani kwa huko juu. Kurudi huko chini mwingine.
Nini wewe kuanza ukiwa juu?
Hapo unajua sahi hapa chini.
Hebu nitumie link ya nini? Nitumie link ya Facebook. Ndio tulikuwa tunaongea. Si bado umemute? Hauja mute? Good evening, everybody. Welcome to tonight's program. Today being Sunday, 16th November 2025. We are blessed to have one of the most eloquent persons I've met. Amekuwa hapa county for some time. Kidogo akadisappear kwa simu, amerudi tena, ana hold nafasi fulani. So we're going to take time to listen to him, and as you know, our topic is understanding how municipalities and cities operate. And so I'll give him the honors to introduce himself and dive direct into the topic.
Thank you very much, Edu. My name is Wanyonyi Buteyo. I am the chairman for Kimili Municipality in Bungoma, and I'm also the chair of the caucus of municipalities and cities in the country. We have 120 municipalities and 5 cities. So I am the chair of the caucus of the chairpersons, pursuant to the Intergovernmental Relations Act, Section 20, that creates cities and municipalities forum. I come from Kimilili. I am also a father, and a husband, and a grandfather. And it's true that I have been in this place. I have also had the privilege of being a teacher and the founder Secretary General of the union in this country called Kupet. I also later became Sub-County Director for TSC and Governor Lusaka's political advisor, awamu ya kwanza. Yes.
So maybe we can start with a little bit of your background. Why Holosina, you know, I would like our followers to understand you better. But as we dive into the topic of the day, at least wanajua who is this Wanyonyi Buteyo?
I was born in a village called Chebukwa in 1967. I'm the first born to the late Mzee Henry Nyongesa Buteyo. And my mother is called Beatrice. We're from a clan called Bahoma, and my mother is Umahuli. But I have a wife. My wife is called Pamela. She's a high school principal. And I have big children. I have Modesta, I have Faith, Salim, Malvin, Rodney, and Anita.
And how many in total? Wale wanajulikana?
No. Those are the ones I have. And I have grandchildren also. Yeah, so yes, then I went through Chebukwa and Chema Primary School before going to St. Peter's Mears High School for O and A level. Then I went to Moi University to study bachelor's degree in education, and I taught in a number of schools. My first school was Friends School Kamsinga. Then later on I went to Luya Girls, Kibingei. Then I had some other things doing, including Kinyanjui Technical Training Institute and that kind of stuff. So then I'm out here now.
All right. Fast forward. What about your work, your job? As in, how many places have you worked before?
I have principally been a teacher, employed by the Teacher Service Commission 5 times actually. 1993, I started teaching French school Kamsinga. I had some little break related to some strike that never was.
Yes.
Then I was taken back. I went to Kupet.
How many spoons of sugar?
No sugar.
No sugar.
No sugar. Yeah. So then I went to the Secretary General of Kupet.
Yes.
Then when my term ended, I went to TSC again and worked at the TSC headquarters.
Yes.
In integrity and office services. Then I came to work as a political advisor. After that, I went back to TSC. So I have worked mainly with TSC and the union, and a little bit of part-time things, consultancies out here.
All right. Then you landed in the county government of Bungoma, finally.
Yes. Now, I took voluntary retirement at 53 and came and contested for a position that I lost. I had wanted to become an MCA in Kibinge, and I fared very badly.
How badly?
Very badly. I think I had some abstract idea about how to get elected at the grassroots. So people kept on telling me I went for a wrong position.
So at that time you lost to?
I lost to the Honorable Agri Mulongo.
Mulongo has been, so he's been there for some time, still there?
I think he's having his third term.
Oh, third term.
Yeah, and the grace to concede defeat. And then later I got lucky to be appointed to the board and to be elected the board chair. And now by the Lord's grace, I took over as chair of the caucus on the 21st of March from the Honorable Julius Kitur of the city of Eldoret. So I was elected by the chairpersons around the country.
It is rotational?
It is not rotational, it's elective.
Okay.
So once you submit yourself to the election, so the chairpersons of municipalities and cities will then elect.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was a big honor that my colleagues, and these are not just ordinary guys. These are fellows. We have professors, we have former ambassadors, we have former members of parliament. Yeah. So drawn from around the country, so they gave me some overwhelming support.
Okay.
And so we are working there.
All right. Now these jobs, do they have specific or some kind of requirements?
Yes. Now, to understand the municipalities, you need to understand the new constitutional order. The 2010 Constitution at Article 184 had hoped that there would be 3 levels of government. So there's the national government, the county governments, and municipalities. And just remember that we generously borrowed from the South African constitutional order.
Okay.
In South Africa, we have the national government, provisional governments, and 243 municipalities. So once we are aware about this, then the municipalities are a creation of the constitution. So as of the time of promulgation, there was a directive that Parliament enacts a law that was going to define municipalities, the governance of municipalities. That is how this Urban Areas and Cities Act 2011 was enacted. So it was going to define the mandate and the scope of municipalities.
Okay.
So that act was amended in 2019. It is the one that is obtaining. So it gives mandate, semi-autonomous functions to municipalities. Now in it expressly says how members of the board will be appointed. So members of the board for a municipality are 9.
Okay.
5 of them,
that is for Bungoma?
No, for the whole country.
Yes.
In the country now we have 120 municipalities.
Okay.
Each municipality operates on the basis of this Urban Areas and Cities Act. And each municipality is therefore given a legal mandate, an instrument called a charter, which now says there will be 19 functions that municipalities are supposed to carry out. But it also indicates how they are going to be picked, to pick members. So for example, 4 members are picked competitively. They apply to the county public service boards. They are interviewed. Then 5 are picked from different outfits. For example, the National Chamber of Commerce and Industry will nominate a candidate. The small-scale traders will nominate a candidate. Professional bodies through UPSEA will nominate a candidate. Resident association will nominate a candidate. So once these candidates are proposed, then the names are given to the governor, who is the appointing authority, and the names will be taken to the county assembly for vetting. Critically, they will be subjected to chapter 6 and 10. Are they of deserving merit? But there's a requisite qualification that for one to be member of the board, one must have a minimum diploma in a known area. But for one to become the chair, one must have a degree with a post-graduation experience of 10 years. So it is just not haphazard. So the people who eventually find themselves to the board come through a competitive process. Then they are vetted by the county assemblies. Then they will be sworn in and they are gazetted to serve a term of 5 years. Okay? So once they are appointed, they have what to do. The boards at the board level, the board members now form the regulations that govern themselves. So the idea of being independent is to this extent that they do their work independently. But of course, the independence is not absolute. The independence is also pegged to the appointing authority. So that to avoid the possibility of little entities becoming erratic and outrageously independent, the appointing authority is the governor. But membership to the board, these are the members ni akina nani. Apart from the members who have come from out, the 7 of them, 2, there's the waziri in charge of lands, fiscal planning, housing and municipalities. He's a member. Then the chief officer in charge of urban development is also a member. So the purpose of the minister being then the chief is so that the boards do their work, but it must be in line with the CIDP, the County Integrated Development Plan. The County Integrated Plan for Bungoma is different from that of Trans Nzoia, for example, much as they generously refer to almost same things. So then you see that the second thing is that it must work in line with the promise, the agenda of the governor. So the governor of Bungoma has this to deliver. How does it work in that municipality? So the CIDP is then reduced to a municipal integrated development plan. So you realize, for example, there's the county spatial plan, but the municipality has its own spatial plan saying this is what we're going to do. So the independence is not absolute, it's actually complementary. Okay? Now then, once the board settles in, there are 19 functions that is supposed to carry out. So these 19 functions refer to the functions that have been assigned to it. In this country, we are not there yet, because the national government has retained some functions. Now then, you come down to the county government, you also discover they have retained some functions. So it is work in progress, but we are headed in some direction. So there's a little bit of progress. So in the case of, let's say, Bungoma municipality, we have the architect Ham Wesonga is the chair. Dr. Katiambo is the deputy. Then there are members. Paul Kamala is a member. Job Nyasi is a member. Wilkisa is a member. All these Akina Philip Wikesa are members. They found themselves there competitively. Now they sit. And these are not full-time employees. They are paid honorarium on the basis of sitting allowance, which we are trying to address, that it's a very inconveniencing arrangement. But this is what they do. So they come and sit 4 full board meetings a year, then they come up with the guidelines.
Yes.
Now, the board therefore works also through committees. So there's a committee of finance, for example, in the case of Kimili, in the case of Bungoma, and all other places.
Yes.
So these committees have delegated work. They look at what is supposed to be done, then it is moved to the full board. Once the full board resolves, it is a function that will be carried out without any alteration. So you realize there's a constitutional basis against which municipalities exist, and there is the law that governs it, the Urban Areas and Cities Act. Then every municipality has a legal instrument called the charter. Okay?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. You've talked about having a trader there, having people of different from different fields.
Yes.
Why is it a concern that we should have people representing those fields?
You know, municipalities, its government infrastructure is also defined. It's through public participation. The presumption is that the municipality has all this representation. For example, the professionals will find expression through a professional nominated by a professional body. Okay? And if you're talking about small-scale traders, they'll also sit and identify somebody. The Chamber of Commerce and Industry, all this. So why is it necessary? It is the cross-cutting representation, so that there is no sector that will be screaming we're not represented. You know.
Okay.
So that everybody else, every sector has a member on that board.
If I was to ask, there's normally, especially around Bungoma, we have had concerns, especially raised by board members, that their allowances overstay. I don't know if you are in a position to give a response to that, but I have on many occasions been running into such concerns. Why is it that board members, number one, they feel they are not much appreciated, in as much as they are their appointment is very colorful. You see, the governor is there, there is swearing in, the pomp and color, but after that, they can't even push any agenda in form of, like now you see Bungoma town is a very, you can say it's very dirty. The drainage system, or I don't know whether it's within your jurisdiction as the boards.
There are two things that you've raised.
Yes.
Are members of the board sufficiently remunerated?
Correct.
Number two, are they carrying out the functions that they are supposed to carry? I think those are the two concerns. Now, if you looked at the charter says the members of the board are not full-time. They are not to be remunerated on a monthly basis. That is now what we are doing as a caucus. This is the critical bit that we're saying. And look, what we're saying is that while the Salaries and Remuneration Commission directs that, for example, members of the counter assembly are not full-time employees, there is a retainer they get.
Yes.
While members of parastatal bodies are not full-time employees, there is a retainer they get. So we have already put up a case that is important that members of the boards are put on a retainer. Look, if you get a municipality like Bungoma or Kimilili or any other, how much money do they control? If there is a revenue to be collected, if there's everything else, the charter that's supposed to be done, there will be a lot of money. How do they do their work pro bono? Pro bono is a legal jargon that you are doing it for free.
Yes.
It does not make sense. In fact, it predisposes these members to acts of corruption. So we are saying, yes, if you have heard from members of the boards that their allowances are delayed, it fundamentally is the system of governance that we are trying to streamline. That's why I said initially, the national government is supposed to send, for example, 35% of their budget to the counties, but they're sending 15%.
Okay.
Why do you think we have a lot of strikes in the health sector? Health sector is devolved, but the resources, 67% is held by the national government. Why do you think we have issues in agriculture that appear like they're still not sorted out? Because money has not been released. So for us at the municipality level also, you will discover allowances are delayed.
Yes.
In fact, they are delayed so badly that people started asking, was it necessary to be vetted, to be sworn in public, and be told you are going to control these resources? We have a lot of cards for Arambe. People think there is a lot, but the remuneration is not being done. So we are dealing with it as at the caucus level. We have engaged the committee of the Council of Governors headed by Professor Nyang for them to understand that remuneration package has to be made available for the members of the board to work. Remember, Edu, Peter Drucker talks about authority. It is sourced from the position you have, the information you control, and the resources at your disposal. So if you are a member of the board, you go to a funeral and you'll be given a seat at the high table. And if you have nothing to deliver, you are funny. So that is one bit. So we are dealing with remuneration, and the case is already up with the National with the Salaries and Remuneration Commission. Number two, the functions that are assigned to the board, there are 19, like I've already told you. These 19 functions are not academic. They are real, and if they are real, they are supposed to be done.
Would you be knowing, would you benefit us with the information on how many?
Number one function of the board, and I think this is good for the people to understand, is that the board oversees the affairs of the municipality. Now, the municipality is headed by the political head called the chairman, but the chief executive officer of the municipality is the manager. He's the head of the secretariat. The chairman and the board formulate policies. They do not fold their sleeves to go and do the real work. They oversee the municipality in doing this. So when you are talking about, for example, garbage collection, is a function the municipality is supposed to carry out. So the board oversees this. Then you see the board is supposed to develop and adapt policies, plans, strategies, and programs for enhanced service delivery. Number three, it has to formulate and implement an integrated development plan. You remember I told you, we have a county integrated development plan. We have to shrink it and make it municipality specific. So we have to implement that. Then we have to control land use, land planning, and all the so issues of land. For example, there are people in this town who are allocated plots and have not been paying rents. We are supposed to be, as a municipality, take charge of it. So that if you have a plot and you have not been paying rent, we repossess it.
So why haven't you taken charge?
I'll be explaining that.
Okay.
Then, you know, we have promoting and undertaking infrastructure development and services municipalities as a delegated to it by the county government. Within the municipality, the development of infrastructure, because municipality. Then developing and managing schemes, including the development and collaboration with the relevant national. You remember, for example, affordable housing. When it comes around, the municipality is involved. That's why the affordable housing scheme has a provision to partner with the municipalities, and then developing, maintaining a comprehensive database and information system, administering and regulating its internal affairs. That is the autonomy component, but that's what we have said, it's not absolute. So we regulate ourselves in the sense that the municipality can sue and can be sued. Okay? Then implementing applicable national and county legislation. So kama kuna legislation ya national government, at the municipality level we have complementary bylaws. So you cannot be found smoking in public, for example, if there's legislation at national level that you cannot smoke in public. You know, that becomes a function of the municipality. Then entering into contracts, partnerships. So we have been given a blank check to look at, for example, UN Habitat. Can we have a partnership deed that we can do a few things with them? You can get some donor, as a municipality, you can enter those kind of news. And then monitoring and where appropriate, regulating municipal services. Those services are provided by providers. For example, you're talking about garbage collection. Garbage collection is a municipality function. As we are talking, most of these functions have not been released to the municipalities because, like I told you, this is work in progress. But if the company contracted to do garbage collection is not doing it, it is the municipality to say, no, you are not doing it, and terminate it. Okay? And then you are also talking about preparing and submitting its annual budget estimates, collecting rates, taxes, levies, settling and implementing tariff rates, you know all this, and then monitoring the impact and effectiveness of any services, so that the service delivery charter is supposed to be monitored by the board. If you go to Kimilili, are you getting the permit as you ought to? Where is the encumbrances? Then the board comes in. So establishing and implementing monitoring performance systems. That's how you'll find we'll be signing a performance contract with the government. So the chairman signs on behalf of the board. The manager signs with the chair. Are they doing it? And then, you know, promoting safe and health environment. We talked about garbage collection. For example, one of the things that municipalities are doing is finally when these functions are transferred, and I'm going to explain specifically the challenge we have. It is keeping the environment clean. There are rules governing it. Then, you know, facilitating and regulating public transport. It's the business of the municipality. So that if there is traffic congestion, you come out and regulate traffic within town. For example, if the vehicle population in Nairobi is outrageously high, they are putting it about 32,000 vehicles in town. Can they be thinned by having tram or rail system so that the vehicles are parked outside town? We are quietly having a problem, for example, in Kimilili, where you find tractors carrying cane for West Kenya are passing through town. We've instructed the base commander that they are going to use the bypasses. And I think last Friday, one of them was arrested. And I think,
how many bypasses do you have in Kimilili?
We have a bypass from Lutonyi through Suleiman Murunga, through Stabichan, it goes to Thursday Market. Then there's another one that passes through Kamasila and goes to Maine and like that. So you'll find, like in Bungoma, we have a bypass from Skoma that goes through somewhere, it goes up to Seritani, isn't it? Then you can pass through Chemwa and get out of town. So regulating transport within the municipality is the function of the municipal boards. And then every municipality will perform such functions as delegated by the county government. So you realize these are 19 functions. Now, do we have these functions? The truth in this country now is that municipalities are not functioning as they ought to, because functions have not been released. The only a few municipalities that have functions given, and there's evidence of an innovative governance, because we are insisting as a caucus that we have to embrace ethical government. Ethical government is to minimize corruption, because municipalities do not operate on any imaginary political strength. It is by public participation. In fact, the Act directs that there shall be citizen fora, periodic, quarterly citizen fora, where every municipality organizes meetings, that the people who are being governed talk to them in terms of priority areas. So, for example, like in Kimilili, we did it recently. So we had a meeting in Kamkuya, a meeting in Maeni, a meeting in Kimilili, and a meeting in Kibinge at the Friends Church. So people are able to say, Sisi in Maeni, what we want is we want this, for example, input. Then it is factored into the process of budget making. Remember, this annual development budget process that the county government does. As they move around through the MCS, we will also be gathering this. Then we put it together. So it is processed to have a platform, a development agenda that then it captures the input of the people. So many municipalities do not have those functions released. And you know, you'll start asking why. There's a little bit procrastination that comes from what the national government is doing. I think a little bit of this bad manners. If the national government has not released functions, so then the county government does not release the functions. But where, like I was saying, where it has been done, look at a case of Lamu. Nasri Hassan is the chair. He's some lady. His Excellency Governor Issa Timami has allowed her to carry out the 19 functions. And they are doing it. They are collecting revenue. And they have taken up things that shockingly have made it very easy for Lamu to operate. It's one of the classic examples. Then if you come to Kilifi, Chair Suleiman Omar for Malindi, Chair Pauline Munga for Watamu, and Chair Brown for Mtwapa, they have been allowed to do it. So revenue collection has really improved. If you went to Watamu, for example, there's no littering. If you are eating something, you will carry your litter up to where there's a dustbin.
Will that come along with the proper dustbins around? Because
yes,
here,
yes. And you know, once the function is released, it is the business of the municipalities to deal with the bylaws. You cannot say you are not going to litter when there are no litter bins. And so they have done. In fact, in Watamu, what they are collecting, they are processing it, and they're making handbags which they are selling. If you come to Kiambu, there are 12 municipalities. There are 12 municipalities.
What is the problem? You're not live on Facebook? Oh, sorry about that. You should be. Then she put on the Airtel. Have you switched on the Airtel? Mambo ya internet ni ngumu.
So we are off.
He says so. Let me just confirm. No. Is that thing on? Is that nini on? Wi-Fi? Sasa why do you unazimisha nini? Si unaacha tu iko on.
They need to know the origin of municipalities.
Okay, I had it on. So can you pause and start? I doubt kama ulikuwa umewasha hii kitu.
Nimewasha, hiyo ndio tumekuwa tunatumia.
So it is tuko na Wi-Fi hapa. It is just acting up. Angalia kama iko live. Imeanza tena. Now, I want you to be checking here. If you're doing the full image, unakata viatu huku chini. Kwa hiyo unaangalia hapo. Alafu sasa wewe nawe hii ya blue unaweka ya nini? Hii ya blue umeweka ya nini? It is a totally different thing.
Hiyo ndio uliweka ikirani singango hiyo.
It is a totally different thing. Mimi nimekaje hiyo? Hiyo sio na anios. So it is okay?
Wow. Yourself?
Yeah.
So we can
okay, sorry, we just encountered some technical hitch. We've had internet issues. Kama kawaida unajua hii mambo ya internet inakuanga beyond us, but tumeswitch. Wacha tuone kama Airtel itatuserve Hata sijui sasa ni mpaka wapi mahali ilikuwa
we are explaining the transfer functions.
Yes.
Where it has been done, the case of Lamu, the case of Kilifi County, and the case that was giving is the case of Kiambu. Kiambu has 12 municipalities. Every constituency is a municipality. Now, when they were allowed to do revenue collection, they moved from 500 million, from 800 million to 8 billion. So, from 800 million to 5 billion. So, the municipalities, if they're allowed to do their work, in monitoring, for example, revenue collection, the revenue streams, there's a direct impact in terms of enhanced revenue collection. And look, it works like, in the case of Kimilili now, we have 23 workers instead of 183. Lamu, which is a smaller municipality, it has 173 workers. So, you know, once functions are transferred, resources will follow and opportunities will be given in terms of job creation. So, the working of the municipality, for example, all these functions that I've told you, if it's about solid waste management, you know, you'll be talking about value addition. You know, garbage collected, there'll be segregation of it at the source, so that the perishables are going to be used to grow, for example, worms that feed into the poultry farming. If you're talking about pulp and papers, will be used for recycling. And if you're talking about the metallic, will be used in power generation. Do you know where it has worked? In Morocco, in Africa, is a classic example. In South Africa, Johannesburg, there is value addition in waste management. So what you're thinking is an irritation will be a source of what to do to for job creation. In Morocco is happening. In Sweden, they are even importing waste from neighboring countries like Hungary, like this other Lithuania. They collect to go and process. So the functions are supposed to be transferred as a constitutional requirement. But like I've told you, there will be issues of capacity. And that's why the World Bank has been putting in support in a program called UIG, Urban Infrastructure Grant, to train people, capacity building, because you know you cannot just become a member of the board and appear like you know everything. And the people who are serving in the municipality, they are supposed to be having specific things. So so I told you, devolution in this country will be realized as a governing experiment if functions meant for the counties are released to the counties. And if functions meant for the municipalities are released to the municipalities. Because at the municipality level, the presumption is there's competition in innovative governance, there's competition in ethical governance, there is room for public participation to enhance quality service delivery.
So if as you say, functions have not been released to the to municipalities, then my question would be, what is the role of what is the need to have boards, municipality boards, and they earning for what they are not delivering or a job they are not doing?
Now, that is why I am the third chair of the caucus. There was I think Mr. Kamau who was the first chair. Then Kemal Kitur became the second chair. I took over from him. And then we had to stop rural migration. So what Bungoma was as planned, we now must pay attention to peri-urban planning. So that going forward, you know that this is the town that is going to grow into the interior. So can this road pass here? So that we avoid the situation where, you remember the bypass in Nairobi?
Yes.
Where Raila pulled down people's buildings and people died of shock. We do not need to go that direction. We need to know that the question of when, and the Kapchai Hills will be part of Bungoma town. Can we plan? Can we plan for a dignified settlement, proper access roads, water supply, solid waste management? So that decision to bring the convention in Bungoma could not have been done if at the national level there's a feeling that Governor Lusaka is not doing enough.
Okay.
Yeah, so we are there, and the steps we've made, they could appear like baby steps, but they are thoroughly significant. I will not be speaking to you now if the national municipality infrastructure did not think nothing is happening in Bungoma. Because I'm not the best, but I come from an establishment that recognizes that things have to change. And so I've been donated to this. And so the observation that I make are meant to operationalize Bungoma just like it has to operationalize the country.
So now that you're talking about things like the roles of the board, is there any role that, say, boards in Bungoma, that is Bungoma Town and Kimilili, are currently doing that you would say, now we at least we are working?
Yes.
Because most of them you said you're yet to be given those responsibilities. So which ones are you actually working on as the current board?
Let me start here. That currently we have 2 boards, but there are plans to have Chwele and plans to have Webuye. And can assure you, it's a question of when. And maybe Mianga or Sirisia or Kapsokony or Naitiri will be. Now, the boards are spending a lot of time. Look at Bungoma, for example. This infrastructure growth that has come up in terms of the municipal market, it is the work of the municipality. Their fingerprints are in it because they are involved in actually ensuring that it's being done. The bus stage, it is the work of the municipality.
Can do it.
Yes. So the municipality, we have an infrastructure committee. I think the chair, I do not know if it's, in the case of Bungoma, I do not know if it's Job Munyasia or Philip, but they have a committee that goes there to pretend over. Remember, I told you the function of the municipality board is to oversee. Okay? In Kimilili, we have the Thursday market that has had a lot of issues to fix. We have the Kamkuya market. And now we are quietly, if we went to Kimilili right now, we are not yet there, but it's a lot cleaner. And so there are many things. For example, Kimilili is working, and the governor has already secured a 1.5 billion African development facility to come up with the sewage system. 2 weeks ago, the Waziri, Dr. Monica Fedha and her team came visiting to just see where are we, because there's a special plan that Professor Mlongo did. Professor Mlongo is a reputable special planner. He did. So where do we place what? This is already works that the municipality is doing. And so we are also having moments to hold court with the stakeholders. We are not meeting as regular as people have wanted. But of course the intention is there, because do you know, when Bungoma municipality was having a citizen forum, and they went, I think in Samoya, some school down here, people who went there, they went to make suggestions, but they expected payment. So when the payment was not forthcoming, a few chairs had to fly. So we are aware that with the limitation of funds,
yes,
we have to engage people, and we are trusting God that with the question of when, people understand that this is the way to go.
So currently you're not holding any public participations because of lack of funds?
No. We are having meetings.
Yes.
We are having meetings. For example, the board meetings have never stopped. We have board meetings. We have to prepare ourselves to even interact with the expectations of the World Bank. So we are meeting people. Delegations come to the offices. Citizens will want to petition the municipality. In Kimilili, we have, for example, a group called Coco Case, led by a gentleman called Manai, and they are registered. So, you do not just go to the stage and then you come 3-5 people and say, we are here, we're residents. So, it is important procedurally that you are dealing with a recognized group. So, if they put in request for audience, we grant it. So, I think there's so much going on.
Do you have internet? Are we still live? Are we still live? Just have the other internet on. Because I think I'm not seeing They switch it on. So I think we have tackled the issue of the basics actually. Let us now look at our towns as they look. There was a time there was an issue with the garbage collection in Kimilili. I think it was around this hospital is called what? There are these places that garbage is thrown by Wanyonyi that are not designated.
Yes.
So and I think also the garbage collector has issues picking that from such places, because at times I've had complaints that they say that those are not their designated areas to pick that from.
Before I talk about garbage collection, I was just explaining the aspect of transfer functions and why we are taking a little bit of a while. And I've given you the example of what has happened in Kisumu, where an executive order is issued and things are done. Because, if this continues, we'll continue speaking English about what we're not doing. And you see, there's no luxury of presenting excuses. So we have made an appeal through the Council of Governors. There is a gentleman called Mboika who coordinates municipalities. And so we did tell him in the presence of Governor Nyang'o that an executive order which should apply in all the counties be prepared, so that, because once this executive order is done, there will be no need for people to canvass about it in any assembly. It will be self-implementing. Once that is done, the noise that we've had will not be there, because why would it be that in Lamu, in Kilifi, in Kiambu, it is working, and in other areas? For your information, there are municipalities that are dead. Lamu, not Lamu, Kwale, Lunga, it's essentially dead. Diani is dead. Kwale town is dead. Kinango is not functional. But you come to Taita and you discover they're working. You come to Makueni, it used to work. But now Sultan Hamoud is the one limping what is dysfunctional. You go to Kitui and you discover all this. So transfer functions, it is one big thing that we're talking about. Now let's come to the case of Kimilili and garbage collection. The expectations of our people is legitimately high. Now the company that does this garbage collection requires the support, the legal support. And that's why Kimilili municipality and Bungoma municipalities, the ad hoc committees were formed to go and see how to domesticate bylaws 15 that had been done under Cap 265. Remember the old municipalities? They had bylaws. So once the bylaws are put into place, we can even ask for a municipal court. In this country now, we have the city court in Nairobi, the city court in Mombasa, and Kisumu. Migori, they have applied. We will be among the first ones to apply once we have the bylaws. So that if you are found littering, you are arrested. And I just noticed in Kwale, in Kilifi, they have done it. In Watamu, they have done it. So once we come up with those laws, what we had in Kimilili, around Mount Crest, around Mangoin, people are just depositing uchafu in one corner of a residential place. They will harvest dead dogs and put on a korokocho. Rural migration. So what Bungoma was as planned, we now must pay attention to peri-urban planning. So that going forward, that this is the town that is going to grow into the interior. So can this road pass here? So that we avoid the situation where, you remember the bypass in Nairobi? Yes. Where Raila pulled down people's buildings and people died of shock. We do not need to go that direction. We need to know that the question is the question of when, and the Kapchai Hills will be part of Bungoma town. Can we plan? Can we plan for a dignified settlement, proper access roads, water supply, solid waste management? So that decision to bring the convention in Bungoma could not have been done if at the national level there's a feeling that Governor Saka is not doing enough.
Okay.
Yeah, so we are there, and the steps we've made, they could appear like baby steps, but they are thoroughly significant. I will not be speaking to you now if the national municipality infrastructure did not think nothing is happening in Bungoma. Because I'm not the best, but I come from an establishment that recognizes that things have to change, and so I've been donated to this, and so the observation that I make are meant to operationalize Bungoma just like it has to operationalize the country.
So now that you're talking about things like the roles of the board, is there any role that, say, boards in Bungoma, that is Bungoma Town and Kimilili, are currently doing that you would say, now we at least we are working?
Yes.
Because most of them you said you are yet to be given those responsibilities. So which ones are you actually working on as the current board?
Let me start here. That currently we have 2 boards, but there are plans to have Chwele and plans to have Webuye. And can assure you, it's a question of when, and maybe Mianga or Sirisia or Kapsokony or Naitiri will be. Now the boards are spending a lot of time. Look at Bungoma, for example. This infrastructure growth that has come up in terms of the municipal market, it is the work of the municipality. Their fingerprints are in it because they are involved in actually ensuring that it's being done. The bus stage, it is the work of the municipality.
Can do it.
Yes. So the municipality, we have an infrastructure committee. I think the chair, I do not know if it's, in the case of Bungoma, I do not know if it's Job Munyasia or Philip, but they have a committee that goes there to pretend over. Remember, I told you the function of the municipality board is to oversee. Okay? In Kimilili, we have the Thursday market that has had a lot of issues to fix. We have the Kamkuya market. And now we are quietly, if we went to Kimilili right now, we are not yet there, but it's a lot cleaner. And so there are many things. For example, Kimilili is working, and the governor has already secured a 1.5 billion African development facility to come up with the sewage system. 2 weeks ago, the Waziri, Dr. Monica Feather and her team came visiting to just see where are we, because there's a special plan that Professor Mlongo did. Professor Mlongo is a reputable special planner. He did. So where do we place what? This is already works that the municipality is doing. And so we are also having moments to hold court with the stakeholders. We are not meeting as regular as people have wanted. But of course the intention is there, because do you know, when Bungoma municipality was having a citizen forum, and they went, I think in Samoya, some school down here, people who went there, they went to make suggestions, but they expected payment. So when the payment was not forthcoming, a few chairs had to fly. So we are aware that with the limitation of funds, we have to engage people, and we are trusting God that with the question of when, people understand that this is the way to go.
So currently you're not holding any public participations because of lack of funds?
No. We are having meetings.
Yes.
We are having meetings. For example, the board meetings have never stopped. We have board meetings. We have to prepare ourselves to even interact with the expectations of the World Bank. So we are meeting people. Delegations come to the offices. Citizens will want to petition the municipality. In Kimilili, we have, for example, a group called Coco Case, led by a gentleman called Manai, and they are registered. So, you do not just go to the stage and then you come 3-5 people and say, we are here, we're residents. So, it is important procedurally that you are dealing with a recognized group. So, if they put in request for audience, we grant it. So, I think there's so much going on.
Do you have internet? Are we still live? Are we still live? Just have the other internet on. Because I think I'm not seeing switch it on. So I think we have tackled the issue of the basics actually. Let us now look at our towns as they look. There was a time there was an issue with the garbage collection in Kimilili. I think it was around this hospital is called what? There are these places that garbage is thrown by Wananchi that are not designated.
Yes.
So and I think also the garbage collector has issues picking that from such places, because at times I've had complaints that they say that those are not their designated areas to pick that from.
Before I talk about garbage collection, I was just explaining the aspect of transfer functions and why we are taking a little bit of a while. And I've given you the example of what has happened in Kisumu, where an executive order is issued and things are done. Because, if this continues, we'll continue speaking English about what we're not doing. And you see, there's no luxury of presenting excuses. So we have made an appeal through the Council of Governors. There is a gentleman called Mbuika who coordinates municipalities. And so we did tell him, in the presence of Governor Nyang'o, that an executive order which should apply in all the counties be prepared, so that, because once this executive order is done, there will be no need for people to canvass about it in any assembly. It will be self-implementing. Once that is done, the noise that we've had will not be there. Because why would it be that in Lamu, in Kilifi, in Kiambu, it is working, and in other areas? For your information, there are municipalities that are dead. Lamu, not Lamkwale, Lungalunga, it's essentially dead. Diani is dead. Kwale town is dead. Kinango is not functional. But you come to Taita and you discover they're working. You come to Makueni, it used to work. But now Sultan Hamoud is the one limping, what is dysfunctional. You go to Kitui and you discover all this. So transfer functions, it is one big thing that we're talking about. Now let's come to the case of Kimilili and garbage collection. The expectations of our people is legitimately high. Now, the company that does this garbage collection requires the support, the legal support. And that's why Kimilili Municipality and Bungoma municipalities, the ad hoc committees were formed to go and see how to domesticate click up behind the post office. They were doing the same. Behind Ambassador Hotel, up Karibuna Kenya Commercial Bank, they're doing the same. So we had to get the support of the chief of Kimilili town, called Abdulhamid Mukanda, a very nice fellow, a modern chief who has established a platform where I think about 600 people are members of Kimilili. As a resident, they said, no, there is a problem. So I called the company that does garbage collection and asked them, Chief, we have a problem. And do you know, the response was instant. Trucks were commandeered to come there. And the chief and myself, we joined them as early as 6:30.
Okay.
And so then, we discovered some people will collect garbage in their own compounds. And they hire people with mkokoteni and tell them, go and drop behind the post office. And so we've said, the next time you are found dropping garbage, you'll be arrested. And see, when you arrest on the basis of what? That's why we're working on the bylaws. This thing of people grazing in town, it is not allowed. And so the bylaws will be enforceable. So once you are found grazing in town, the ng'ombe inashikwa. This is what is happening in Homa Bay town. The Homa Bay town, you cannot do it. And who does that? The order is written by the respective managers of the towns to the enforcement officers to ensure And this is the direction we're going to take. So I think the appeal that we make is for people to understand that yes, we are in place and we have a duty to perform. We need functional criticism that is proactive, meant to help us do better. But people have to take responsibility. You know, Edu, I'm sure you have seen this. In town, somebody stands behind a building and converts it into a urinary place.
Correct.
You've seen that?
Correct.
You do not need to go to school to know that that's bad manners. And so what is basic uncouth behavior has to be stopped. And that's why every municipality, Kimilili and Bungoma, and all the municipalities are now working to have those bylaws. In fact, the UIG funds are directed to have infrastructure developed for urban governance. Yes, and so that's the direction we're taking.
Okay. So what about Bungoma town? I don't know whether I know your jurisdiction is within Kimilili, but then as a chair, as the national chair, I'm sure you are concerned about the headquarters of the county.
Yes.
Because the same concern happens. And then another thing is we also have a very serious drainage issue in town. And more so the drainage that is in front of Davis and Shatleaf, Hilton, towards Simba. There's even those leads were removed. They were stolen, I think.
Yes.
And now there's a lot of dirty water in there. And in fact, those trenches are they're actually dangerous for the residents of town. I noticed that even one day, one of the businessmen around there got injured because of kukanyaga kwa hiyo those manholes areas zenye hazina hiyo lead. So I don't know what you as municipality boards are doing to address such concerns.
You know, the concern, I think, is captured in what came out from Malindi resolution.
Okay.
The Malindi Kenya Institute of Planners annual conference, resolution number 1 was to tap into the brilliance of planners. In Bungoma we have a planner called, for example, Wellington Sindani.
Yeah.
Another planner is the chief officer of finance, Robert Smith. Another planner is called Kaya. There are not many, but the collective brilliance of these fellows retain an orderly tomorrow for all of us. So we are saying, look, why can't we have this convention? And what you're talking about Bungoma is not just Bungoma. Honor, the planning of this town may have been done for Bungoma of about 10,000 people. But you know, Bungoma now has how many residents? It is going to about almost over 20,000. In fact, 20,000 is really, maybe you're talking about the town center. Bungoma could be having 100,000 plus. Kimilili does not have a sewage system. But we are thinking about Kimilili up to 2050.
Yes.
So, of a population about 300,000. So the modern planning is factoring in population growth.
Yes.
It's factoring in the expansion, the rapid expansion of urbanization. So where we are, the sewage system in Bungoma is not sufficient. It is not. It was meant for a population maybe 1/8 of where we are now. So something has to be done, and that's why urban planning and peri-urban planning has to recognize that the future is urban. And what we do now will account for how orderly and how organized our tomorrow will be. Yeah, so I am aware, for example, even in the two towns, and somebody was also giving me a very curious example, I think in Vihiga. When it rains, the owners of hotels, because the sewage system is not working, they open the lid and pour the refuse in the flood water. So then you'll discover a little town like Milili with a rapid population, with students of Moi Girls, Friends School Kamsinga, Kimili Boys. You are talking about a big population. Because you don't have a sewage system, 45% of income levels of every household is spent on mitigating complications arising for waterborne diseases. So if you have sunk a borehole, you are drinking water that is already polluted. And that's why urban planning is critical. And that's why when you hear the governor is saying there's a legacy regime assignment to come up with the sewage system in Kimilili, it is so spot on. And in fact, we're agreeing, even if it's going to be fast phase, because governments operate continuous perpetuity. What Governor Lusaka did in Lusaka 1, Governor Wangama was to build on it. Governor Lusaka is building on it. The next governor, whoever, will be building on it, and then we'll be getting out of the woods. So the planning of this town of Bungoma has to factor that. And you see, that's why we agreed in Malindi. Wacha tulete this part of the world. And Kibabi University might be the host. And then we get, it is not just going to be a regional convention. In fact, the president of the planners, Planner Komolo, was saying it might just end up be a national convention in Bungoma, even as they plan for the annual conference at the end of the year.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So then, are you saying that already the sewer lines, because I remember there was a time in Zawasco, even before it was changed to Bwasco,
Yes.
some staff were walking around asking whether there is some interest in sewer line. I was one of those who was asked. I was at my compound when some guys just popped in and they were like,
you know there are some routine questions that are nonsensical, to say the least. It's a function of common sense. People know that the population that Bungoma is not what was. So when the current sewage system was being done, the population was much smaller. I mean, have just been less than I have been in this town for a while. What Blue Waves is and Chinglichi?
yes,
It was a bush only a few years ago.
yes.
We used to have a cattle dip around there.
Yeah.
Where is it now? The difference between Bungoma and Kandu,
grabbed by now.
the difference, the Bungoma and Kandu is now one. But remember, a few years ago, you'll walk through a bush. Lusaka Road was in the middle of nowhere. But now you realize the town has gone mpaka Kharabakh. Sikata is part of this town. So this is what we're saying. If you went to Kimilili, Kimilili was just around the town where the Indians were. But now Kimilili, the residential corner, has gone almost up to Kamtiong. So we have to take into consideration the truth, the reality as well. Right now, do you realize that Ndengula is part of this town?
Correct, it is.
And it's a question of when. Do you now realize that Sibembe is part of this town? That you can go to a hideout in Kabula and you're still in town. Do you realize Mateka is no longer what used to be Mateka or Sudi? It is Mateka in town. Do you realize even Kimwanga? It is you already there. You know, you get to hear facilities like Talanta. Were they anywhere? So the planning that we're talking about is acknowledging the rapid growth in Wanapeleka and rapid expansion into the interior. So this peri-urban planning will definitely necessitate, and I'm so sure that while Kimilili is thinking of a sewage system, Bungoma requires a bigger one. And I'm sure you realize, without running the risk of offending anybody, that Bungoma is increasingly becoming a regional powerhouse. And so you cannot pretend that nothing has to be done. And we are headed to having Bungoma and Kimilili and Chwele as one massive town.
I don't know whether you've checked we are live or we are not. Are we live? Are we live on YouTube? We are live on YouTube. Okay. Are you also recording? Are you recording?
Camera.
The camera is recording?
No.
The yellow box?
Yes.
If the yellow box is recording, then we are good to go. We can replay it tomorrow morning if we haven't gotten the very best of it now. What other towns are you looking at apart from, in terms of priority, apart from Webuye and Kimilili? Webuye and Chwele?
Right now, you know, I give the example of Kiambu, where the 12 constituencies are 12 municipalities. I think nothing stops us because municipalities are based on urban population. So where there's urban population justifying it, if there are 50,000 people,
Yes.
then nothing will stop us from having Webuye, having Chwele, having Sirisia, you know. And look, the more municipalities we come up with, the better for us.
Yes.
In the sense that then governance will be brought down to that level, and our people's participation will be felt. Okay.
Yes.
If what we're saying, we are going to do it right. If, for example, all the boards are going to do the things right, consultatively, there's public participation, and the delivery is that well coordinated. And of course, we are talking about ethical government also, because there was one little problem that I think we met when we went to the Senate. One of the senators said, "Chief, why do you want municipalities to be autonomous? And we're going to spread to expand corruption?" And you know, I asked a very innocent question, which I think joked his view. I said, "Do you want to monopolize corruption?" And nobody want to monopolize corruption, because if the functions are assigned to the municipalities are laced with corruption, and we have signed Chapter 6, then you know, individual members of the board involved in corrupt acts should be prosecuted. Let me tell you, Edu, while corruption is a serious threat to nationhood,
Yes.
we just need correct acts to stop it. Why do you think in Malaysia people are not being corrupt? Why do you think in China, if you are corrupt, you rather commit suicide? We just need to stop it. And you see, the place we are going to stop corruption is in a place called a municipality. I stay in Kimilili. Let me tell you, if I pull one corrupt act, everybody else will know. Okay? And because everybody else will know, I will not want to jeopardize the reputation assigned on my name for the sake of my children. And so it becomes some inbuilt mechanism of controlling people to discharge functions with absolute integrity. Yes.
Wow. We have had, that is about 1.5 hours of talk. I believe our followers, we are sorry about the technical hitches. These ones, zinakuja one time or the other. But we will have a repeat of this running tomorrow morning, and I run around 6:37 hapo, so that wale hawajawatch hii ya leo mtaiona tena kesho asubuhi, na wale wameiona ikisumbua tomorrow asubuhi, I'm sure tutakuwa mahali internet iko sawa, we will run it uninterrupted. So I think you can give us your closing remark, what you think Bungoma people should do, and in terms of how residents can be part of the development and growth of these municipalities into cities. And by the way, I don't know, did you tell us the difference between municipalities and cities?
Maybe I can start. The cities are based on, I think, the size coverage. In fact, going forward, there's a plan to have 6 metropolis. Mombasa, Garissa, Nairobi, Nakuru, then the Eldoret one, and the Kisumu, that will also involve Kakamega. So metropolis will be massive, will bring together a number of municipalities, a number of even cities under one. And then we have cities now. Then the cities, on the size involved, down there we have municipalities. And then you see the idea of UIG is also to cause the establishment of town committees. So every town where the municipality is not, look at Mayanja, for example, Mayanja Bitungu, you're supposed to have some town committee. You get to Kamkuya, you'll easily find the need to have a committee that also runs this. So areas that are not covered, like Bukembe, we are supposed to have committees. So and I think this is the way to go. But now coming back to, I think, what you had asked me to do as closing remarks, it's my absolute privilege to be on Ikwe, and you are encouraged, Edu. Next time when I come, let it be a bigger establishment, a TV or something, and reach out. Let's get support, because I think at this point, as a young man, you are doing something that is unique. Number two, I am truly honored to serve on the board of Kimilili. I have my colleagues. I have the Honorable Moses Opicho is on that board. The Honorable Samson Sichangi is on that board. The Honorable Abigail Wafla is on that board. The Honorable Karo Haswa is on that board. The Honorable Dennis Barasa is on that board. The Honorable Ziprin is my deputy, is on that board. Then we have Waziri Monica. We have Planner Sindani, who alternates for Waziri, and Dr. Famba. We are working with the manager called Martin Mabonga. Bungoma also has the members, and you know, because I am here at home, it will also be important for Bungoma people to know that the chair of Bungoma is architect Ham Wesonga. Dr. Dorcas Katiambo is the deputy chair. We have Job Munyasi is a member of that board. We have Philip Wekesa is on that board. We have Paul Kamala is on that board. We have Will Kister Wafula is on that board. And I do not know if I've forgotten any, but the manager is Vincent Geyo. So, of course, then we have Christian. Christian is a member of the board, Director Christian of Housing, and then Dr. Famba, we have on that board. So, these are people who are amongst us. I will invite the residents of the two municipalities to reach out to ask for information, because they cannot be members of the board who are powered by ignorance. They know. So if you stopped us, even if it's on the road, we should be able to tell you this is where we are. And I think it's going to help. Number three is to thank Governor Lusaka for his commitment, because I think every time we've been in his presence, he speaks passionately about why municipalities should work. And as his legacy program will not disappoint. And then finally, of course, it is our prayer that as we serve at this level, we are expected to serve with integrity. Let it be seen that the municipalities are not a mistake. If South Africa is experiencing enhanced governance, if a few municipalities in this country are performing very well, we cannot be an exception. And I am so persuaded that interacting with my colleagues around the country, we have a duty to perform. We cannot do it with excuses. We are going to make a difference. Yes.
In the comment section, I see most people are speaking so well about you. There's Magdalene Nabukwangwa Muramara.
Yes.
Say hi to Wanyonyi Buteyo. My good friend, I'm listening from the comfort of my small abode. John Simbarati anasema salimia sa Wanyonyi Buteyo, political mentor of my political mentor. I remember we had lunch hapo Kandi with him. He told me, young man, you look very sharp, but in life, young man, pesa kidogo inaisha, pesa mingi inaisha. Let the spirit
Relation and rapid expansion into the interior. So this peri-urban planning will definitely necessitate, and I'm so sure that while Kimilili is thinking of a sewage system, Bungoma requires a bigger one. And I'm sure you realize, without running the risk of offending anybody, that Bungoma is increasingly becoming a regional powerhouse. And so you cannot pretend that nothing has to be done. And we are headed to having Bungoma and Kimilili and Chwele as one massive town.
I don't know whether you've checked we are live or we are not. Mobe County.
I served there.
Oh, you did?
Yes. I served there. Yes.
Faris Wanyonyi Buteyo anasema tuned. That's my brother. Humphrey Buteyo anasema very informative. This is from clip 1. Now let me check clip 2 comments. Ruben Wechuli anasema following from Webuye West. Huyu Buteyo yako na kizungu safi sana. Following from Kibingei Ward, that is Kerry Kawemba.
Yes.
And then Bungoma reports anasema we can see you live, we are keen. Santeni sana again, thanks for following. we are going to replay this tomorrow. Try repeat kesho, let me just say from 6:30 so that wale ambao miss something leo, sorry about the internet hitches, wakati mwingine inakuwa beyond us, but this was one interview that I gave my all. Tuko na wifi mbili hapo lakini moja imetufail, so moja ikikubali ingine nakataa. I think it's because of the venue, but yeah, we are going to correct that moving forward. So thank you very much guys. Bob,
Yeah.
so we hope that you'll come back again.
I'm here.
Now that we have several things, I would want you to come and now talk about matters teachers, Kupet, na the role you play to get it to where it is now. I hear teachers talk so well about you. And we should get this information documented.
I'll be available. Thank you very much.
I'm happy that you've also chosen to be to give this rare information to the public via Ikue. Tunashukuru sana guys. We are live on YouTube and Facebook. Anytime ukipata Facebook inasumbua, enda YouTube. YouTube haisumbuangi sana. That one will always get us live. So thanks a lot and have a good night, people. Asad.
Thank you.